Item number 4 on the agenda, County Advisory Board to Manage Wildlife, member items, informational. CAB members may present emergent items. No action may be taken by the commission. Any item requiring commission action will be scheduled on a future commission agenda. CAB items, up, you first, come on up. Ken.
For the record, Ken Wellington, Elko County. Thank you for choosing me first because he's got a lot more issues than I do. Couple things. I forwarded, I believe, to you the Spruce Mountain reclamation project that BLM has just finished. I think they're in the scoping process still, looking for public comment. NDOW is involved with that project, and I just wanted you to be updated. I had one call, I think, on some guzzler issues that maybe we could include in that project. I just wanted you aware. We talked to Alan Janae from our district, and he's working on that with them. Second thing was, I didn't know if you guys had noticed, but on my agenda I put an issue. I was contacted by Nevada Outfitters and Guides regarding the wolves being introduced into the Dixie National Forest in Utah. I actually had and this was by U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services, that were looking at doing this introduction of, I think it was 150 to 250 wolves, somewhere in that area. I was contacted by Ryan Benson. He's an attorney out of, I believe it's Colorado or Salt Lake area. He is active with the Big Game Forever organization. He came over, did a presentation for us. He spoke that to our board about September 2011. U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services put out their draft recovery plan for some of the wildlife populations, and the introduction of the wolves were considered to be put into that area. What happened, this is out for public comment and will be until September 2012. This September, I thought this board should maybe pay a little attention to that, because the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services management plan for the, I think it's the Baca National Forest in New Mexico, which comes up to about 90 miles from Utah, from southern Utah. They introduced the wolves there, and I think they're over 500 now, is what he was telling us, somewhere in that area. They showed us a map in this presentation. I sure would like this guy to have his card to maybe do a presentation for you if you could, maybe 15, 20 minutes at one point. He showed the map, and basically on the map he shows the pairs that have been introduced, and they completely surround our state, is what it comes down to. And these wolves, as most of you know, travel up to 250 miles or so. It takes about a week to get that distance. What I thought was interesting is when he showed us the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Management Plan for the Baca Wildlife Refuge, their main reason for the introduction was to control wildlife populations, and that concerns me, because these guys, if those wolves are introduced there, will control them in our state, which this commission has the right to do. Anyway, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Dixon, Dr. Dixon, sorry.
For the record, Paul Dixon, Clark County CAB. I have two items, one informational and then a request for future consideration by the Commission. From an informational perspective, on February 11th at the Overton Wildlife Management Area, there'll be a meeting with the Department of Wildlife to talk about issues, concerns, or things that people like to see going on at the Overton area. So I thought I'd make a public announcement of that, and interested sportsmen, sportswomen, consumptive and non-consumptive users of the Overton area should go up there and get their voices heard if they have the time. It'd be a good meeting. And Elmer Bull for the Department of Wildlife will be hosting that meeting. And if you have further questions, Elmer would be happy to answer them. The other question that came up, I sent on my action report that came out to you guys a series of things, and one of the things I left off of that, and that's why I'm bringing it up here, because anybody can read the non-agendized things I had there, was the fact we had a discussion about related to trapping and related to animals that have been hurt, injured, or trapped in traps. And what I learned sitting in my meeting and what I've heard over the last 6 months is that we have a lot of innuendo, conjecture. We have people that are very passionate that my dog has had this or that. We have no official statistics in this state of what really goes on. I did talk with Commissioner Macbeth, and we asked a veterinarian at the gym the other morning, are there things that veterinarians have to report to the state? And the only thing they are required to report are disease things like rabies or some other contagious disease. And we were wondering whether or not it's possible to get a requirement that veterinarians have to report when they bring in an animal that's been injured in a trap or other things. So we start to get some real statistics on what that number is. Is it tens of animals a year that are trapped, or is it hundreds? I mean, I have people giving me numbers from tens to thousands, and so I just don't know what it is. And I'd like to know, because I think it kind of plays into, as we go forward with our trapping regulations that we're looking at, based on some things, it'd be nice to have that information so that people actually know what we're trying to protect as far as animals and humans. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Gil, come on up.
For the record, Gil Yannick, Carson Advisory Board. Just as we've starting to see W-2s and 1099s come into our envelopes in the mail, I think it's time to remind our cabs that in March they will be receiving a letter from the department asking for their budgets for the fiscal years 2012-13, and those budgets will be due back to the department by the end of March. So it would be nice to have them start thinking about that now. We do have a few of the locations for that first part of the fiscal year, and we hope to be able to provide them with the balance of it so they can get a running start at this. Thank you.
Thanks, Gil. By the way, I appointed Gil the chairman of the Finance Committee of the Commission, and I can tell you he's out of the chute very quickly on everything, and I think he's going to make an excellent chair to that committee, and I look forward to working with him. And so, anyway, thanks, Gil. Any other CAB members have anything that they want to discuss? Okay, seeing none, I'll go ahead and move on to agenda item number 5, approval of the minutes.